Well, I'm out here on a ride in the middle of the Everglades with no particular destination in mind. Very nice outside, about 81 degrees. There's looking out to the east. A little bit of rain in the forecast for this afternoon. But otherwise, real nice day. Looking down to the south. And out to the west, the weather looks a little bit nicer. It occurred to me, I was thinking about this last night a little bit, watching a couple videos on YouTube, that it seems to me the majority of people that do motorcycle videos and have a large audience are people that talk about their bikes, talk about their apparel, talk about things, but I don't see them riding very much. I'm the other way around. I pretty much just video my rides, where I go, try to introduce you to some new places out in the Everglades. As I'm sitting here walking past this sign that's been shot up pretty good. I always see some ammo on this bridge out here. In any event, so you can see my bike over there on the other side of the bridge. What I decided that I would do today is talk a little bit about my apparel and maybe some of the things on my bike. You see my other videos, so you know I ride a lot, and I stay very comfortable with the riding apparel I have. So maybe some of you are out there interested in what kind of apparel and maybe some of the accoutrements on my bike that I use. And since I see other people gaining huge audiences opining about their type of jackets and shoes that they wear, I figure I'll do the same. Let's step on over here and have a little chat about that stuff. I don't see any gators. I was hoping we'd see a gator real quick. I saw one right when I turned off under the bridge here, and no, I'm not going to walk down there and try to find out. Here, let's walk over on the other side and see. But maybe we'll see a little bit of wildlife while we're here. It's actually been a quiet day for wildlife today. Lots of birds, but really haven't seen much of anything else. All right, well, we'll check it out while we're taking this other video. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to see something, but otherwise, pretty nice day. Pretty nice day. So I thought this would work a little better sitting out here instead of doing this at home. But anyway, so I use these Under Armour kind of medium length, kind of a lycra or nylon, whatever they're made out of, underwear, and they wick the sweat. And they fit nice and easy, very comfortable, and seem to wear pretty good. I've had these for a couple years. I have a few pairs of them, and then of course, I don't know what everybody wears. I started using baby powder. Wipe it around all your rear end and your private parts there, but this stuff's available, and I find that it works a little bit better than baby powder. So I bought it in like a 3-pack or something. So I've got one in a baggie that I take on trips, you know, one that I leave at home. And then my RV, I just kind of keep one just in case I forget it altogether. Down here in Florida, it's pretty warm. My gloves are pretty ratty. They're on their last leg. But you want something with, it's got good protection on it, like these Alpine Stars, good protection, but that they breathe real good. And so these ones have some breathing here and breathing up on the top of the glove. They've served me quite well. I don't know of too many gloves that are going to aerate better or pass the air through there better than these, and still provide you some good protection if you go down. Obviously, you go down out here, the first thing's going to happen is your hands are going to go out, so you want to make sure you have something that's going to not get your hands all hamburgered up. Good quality glove is a good place to go for that. And of course, next is just a skull cap that goes underneath your helmet here, something that wicks away sweat and whatever fits you well. You'd be much more comfortable. You wear a helmet out here, and I've got an XD4, which I'll show you in a couple minutes, and it vents as well as any helmet, but it doesn't matter. You're going to sweat here in South Florida from 80 to 100 degree weather with the sun beating down on you, particularly if you have a darker helmet like I do. So you definitely want a skull cap. And then a kidney belt. Kidney belt is something I wasn't using on this bike for a while. One of my jackets, my larger jacket that I don't use around here, has a kidney belt built into it, the climb jacket, which I like a lot that it's got it built into it, but my one that I'm going to show you here in a little bit does not have a kidney belt. So I've got this brand, this Motocross Fox one. I'm usually, from my old school days, the old gold belt. I decided I would try one of these Motocross Fox rather than the gold belt just to see, and it's pretty nice. I'll probably get a gold belt just to test it against this, but it does help out here. These roads aren't terribly bad. You know, once it starts raining and they get muddy and ruddy and everything, get a lot worse, and then the kidney belt becomes a lot more necessary. But other than that, it's just a comfort thing. If you're a skinny guy, you probably don't need it as much. Anyway, let me get this over here first before we go any further. This is mainly to keep you from getting sunburn. This goes over your neck, kind of a gator. This is a particularly long one. I got this partially for cold weather, but mainly for out here so you don't get scorched on your neck. My jacket comes up pretty nice and high, and this will scrunch way down. And the other thing is, and it just got me because I wasn't wearing it coming down this road at about 55, 60 miles an hour, is usually the windshield will keep the wind flow such that the bugs will hit my helmet or maybe even miss me altogether. But I got one that came just over the top of the windshield and whacked me in the neck. And that's another reason I wear this, is to keep myself from getting whacked in the neck with bugs and debris and whatever else. This I am not wearing today. I just brought it out here to show you. This is my hyper cool jacket. This down in Florida is an absolute must have. I don't see a lot of people wearing them down here, but I got to tell you, it's not exactly night and day, but it's a big difference. You take this and you soak it in water for a few minutes. You know, I'll turn it over a couple of times, but you have to soak it. It has to have a chance to pick up all the water, and then you gently wring it out. And when you put it on, it won't even drip hardly, and it lasts for several hours anyway. But it will, your upper body, once you get a little air going through the perforated jacket or your mesh jacket, a little bit of air on this thing, it's unbelievable. Supposedly it works better in dry environments, I suppose like New Mexico or Arizona or something like that, but it works good down here too. On a day like today, it's only about 81 degrees, 82 degrees, not real necessary. But once we get a little closer to 90 on up, I don't leave home without this, particularly on my off-road bike. My Harley, maybe not. All right, let me line up a couple other goodies here, and we'll look at some other stuff. And there's definitely something under this bridge. I see something on the waterway down there. I can't tell if it's anything or nothing, but I just heard something pop up under the bridge here. Let's go down. We'll walk down here. See if we see anything. But I heard something good underneath here. I'll watch my step because I don't know where the gators come up or not. But don't worry, whatever happens, it'll be on the camera. All right. I started filming and talking and it got real quiet. All right, well, we'll keep filming. We'll keep an eye out down here. If we see anything, I'll send my best guy down here. And since I'm alone, that would be me. Oh, I definitely see some bubbles right there under the bridge. There you go. You see them? Right underneath the bridge. I'm not going to walk over there, but there's definitely something or things. I see like 3 sets of bubbles right there under the bridge. I don't know if you can see them in this camera. We'll keep an eye out. All right, next online here is my climb jacket. This thing is much better than I ever expected it to be. I bought this, I really had to suck it up and buy it. I don't remember how expensive it was. I want to say it was in the $600 range. I've had it for at least 2 years and didn't want to buy it, cost too much. Not very many reviews out there, and then I decided that I would just try it because there weren't many reviews and see how it worked out. And it's unbelievable. I had an Alpine, I still have my Alpine Star jacket, and I like the jacket. As many people, reviewers for the Alpine Star will tell you, it's more of a European cut. It really tailors down at the waist. So if you got a couple pounds extra on you, it's going to be a little, you know, probably real snug in the waist. This one here, I saw a couple reviews that talked about if you're big fat beer drinker, you'll like this jacket more. I thought that was pretty funny. But what they're trying to say is it's more of a straight cut. It's not tapered. Now you'll notice down here that you can bring it in a little bit with the stuff that's on here. So not to worry. I'd like to think I'm somewhere in the middle of that. I'm not a real skinny guy. I'm not real portly either. I'm somewhere in the middle. This jacket fits loose on me, a little bit loose, which I like, because if it's a little bit on the cool side, I might wear an undergarment for a while, maybe like a Lycra long sleeve shirt or something. But this jacket's great. I put my keys, got a little pouch right here, little waterproof zipper on it, and I'll usually put my keys in here, and then I've got a little card in here that's got my personal information if I go down and somebody has to scrape me up and nobody's around to tell you who I am. It's got these things here will get you nice and tight around the arms, and I think it has another one back here maybe on the upper part. It does have elbow pads in here, the D30. You can see the little gizmo on here, D30 elbow pads. It's got shoulder pads, and then inside here it's got the, well, let me back up here a little bit. It's got the spine guard as well. I was a little disappointed the spine guard. I only had the jacket about a year and it's kind of fallen apart. I got to get another one. It's still kind of maintaining being in one piece, but for whatever reason that kind of gave up the ghost pretty early. You can kind of see where the elbow pads go here. And it's a little dirty because I wear it a lot. Got a couple jackets up front. I mean, a couple jackets, a couple of pockets up front. You got another pocket right here, which is just right up front, and then right inside here, if I were to open it up, you'll have another little pocket on the inside here. This pocket's pretty cool. It's got, I think I have my keys in here today, which is a little different. I normally have my sleeve. So, but you've got this little hook on here, so you can have a little bit of confidence that even if your pocket gets a hole in it, your keys aren't going to take a ride. I got the one that just has a little bit of this green. I'm not one of these highway repair people that like to have a lot of green. But what I am told is the silhouette on this jacket is supposed to mimic a human being, so that if you're standing somewhere at night and a pair of headlights gets a hold of you, it's supposed to outline a silhouette of a person. So again, as you look at the jacket here, it's not all greened up. Although, safety is a big deal when you're on a motorcycle, so I wouldn't exactly be upset if it had more green on it, but I think for me it has just the right amount of green on it. So anyway, that's my jacket. Elbow pads, shoulder pads, got a spine pad. It is a little heavier than the Alpine Star, but you'll probably notice if you have an Alpine Star jacket like that, the first thing I noticed, and it was in some of the reviews, is that the mesh is much more coarse and in fact abrasive, that if you rub your hands on it, I keep hearing things from under the bridge. Oh yeah, there's definitely something down there. We'll go down the bridge a little bit. I keep hearing something slapping around on the water behind me. Keep an eye out. Anyway, that this is real abrasive. I will say that in time this has softened up a little bit, but this is definitely a lot more coarse than what was on the, or what is on my Alpine Star jacket, and it tends to flow the air a lot better, which surprised me, pleasantly surprised me. So you get a little bit better airflow through this jacket. I don't really wear the Alpine Star anymore at all. I wore it once here recently on a Harley ride when it was maybe a little cool for another jacket that I had. So I just wore that. It doesn't let quite as much airflow through. Still a good jacket. I still like the Alpine Star jacket a lot. All right, I'll take off. I don't need to take off both my boots. I think one tells the story. I've got these mid boots. This was kind of new for me when I got these. I've had these for probably about 2 to 2.5 years. And let me tell you, if you've never had a pair of these, you can go hunting for them because they're very, very nice. These particular boots are made by Forma, which I had never heard of this brand before when I bought them, but they had real good reviews. I bought them online, so I was a little worried about the sizing. My recollection is that the sizing was spot on if you read the reviews. The first pair I got fit me fine and been using them ever since. These things are incredibly comfortable. They don't breathe, so in the warm weather you're definitely going to get some sweat in your foot, and I just have some like Under Armour socks that wick away. I wear shorty socks, not real tall. Actually, the socks I wear come down inside the boot. They don't even come up over the top of the boot. Probably be better to get taller socks, but anyway. So I put some leather conditioner on here a couple times a year, clean these off. And no special treatment, as you can see, is all just dirt from riding today and everything on them. I just hose them off, And then, like I say, every few months I'll spend a little time on them, you know, about an hour, and just put some leather conditioner on them. But they're still in, after a couple of years of, you know, pretty decent amount of riding, they're still in real good shape. If I ride my Harley and it's cold outside, or I'm taking a long trip, we've done a couple Tail of Dragon trips where, you know, daytime high is 50 and some of our riding's in the 30s. I don't wear my Alpine Stars, I wear these. They are extremely comfortable boots to wear. Walking, you can walk in them. They're not the greatest walking boot. If you were going to get off and do a lot of walking, probably wouldn't recommend these. But if you're just going to do a little walking, they're fine. They're a little stiff. It's definitely a motorcycle boot. But again, if you haven't tried, you know, they sell the regular Formas, the regular high tops, or, you know, normal size boot. But I wanted to try these out because of the type of riding that I do. I didn't feel like I needed to get all geared up quite that much. I definitely wanted my ankle protected, my foot protected, for obvious reasons. You know, I do go through a lot of weeds and things around here, but my trousers and knee guards protect me above here. My knee guard starts right about here, so I have a small amount. But on the BMW, I'll show you in a minute, and you guys already know this, but you got some protection in front of your foot anyway on these adventure bikes with the bars and stuff. But that's it for the boots. All right, pretty simple setup with the helmet. I've got the Arai XD4. As you can see, I got a smoke visor on it. Got rid of the clear one pretty quick. Here in Florida, I don't ride too much at night. Barely ride the BMW ever at night. And daytime is brutal. And I'm a fair-skinned person, so with the clear lens, even with a pair of sunglasses or anything underneath it, you get burnt. We get these dark lenses on there, much better. And then, of course, you guys already know I've got one of these Sena 10Cs, and you've already seen the video. Watch my videos. Works real nice. You can see on here that I don't have the metal bracket or whatever, that I found out where to mount on this helmet, and then I just use the adhesive attachment. Much cleaner installation. All the vents are open. You can see there's a lot of let me see if I can turn it this way here a little bit without letting it take a ride. It's got vents everywhere. That's when I see a bug got me coming right down the road here. So you got vents here, a vent here. You get 2 vents on the visor, 2 on top. Let's see if you could probably turn this around. Well, anyway, let me see if I can get it this way. 2 in the back on this side, and 2 down here, down low. So you got a lot of vents on this thing. It really vents good. I was debating a lot about what kind of a helmet to get. I was using my Neotech for this kind of ride. It was a little too warm and really not what I wanted to be using. And I was looking around and ended up with this XD4 after some recommendation from the motorcycle store. My recollection is that it wasn't cheap. It was expensive helmet. I want to say more than $500 anyway, and I really choked in spending it. But there's not a helmet that comes close to it with respect to ventilation anyway. There may be now. That was 3 years ago. You could probably see on the back here I have my it's called the HARD, the helmet assisted radar detector. I'll show you in a minute. Probably already showed you before, but I've got a radar detector on my bike. And so what happens is radar detector, I have an attachment, the transmitter, and this is the receiver, and it transmits to this. And then inside the helmet, let me see if I can do this one-handed. Inside the helmet, you've got this right here that has an LED on the other side and just flashes in my eye, and I'm aware that there's radar around. All right, that's pretty much it for the helmet that I wear, at least for this off-road stuff. Again, with this apparel I'm showing you is pretty much all for my off-road stuff. I have different stuff that I wear on my Harley. All right, this is the part of the apparel video where some of you are going to be going, you got to be kidding me. What's he doing wearing those? Well, let me explain myself. I have looked high and low for a good vented pair of motorcycle pants. And either the snaps don't work, they weigh as much as 4 pairs of pants, they're way long, they fit terrible, they're too tight, too loose, everything imaginable. I just cannot find a pair that just is a good, decent pair of vented pants that doesn't weigh 30 pounds, doesn't have thick liners in them. I mean, why do you vent them and then put big liners in them that prevents the air from coming through and stuff like that? So I have these Cycle Gear Built Specials, And yeah, they lack the protection that I'm looking for, but they have some protection. It's better than nothing, and they vent exceptionally well, and they're comfortable to wear. They're a little bit baggy, but I'll show you how you can see the suspenders in the background. That's how I overcome that. I hate wearing those, but hey, that's just what has to happen here. The one fallback with these is that they the elastic probably just gave out real fast, and so I just hold them up with that. Anyway, they have knee pads. They're not good knee pads, but they have something, and something's better than nothing. And as you can see, you can just about see right through them. They vent real well. And in Florida, when it's 90, 95, 97, 100 degrees outside, I mean, this is what you need. You need something that's going to put the air right through you. It's got hip padding. It's pretty minimal, but it's better than nothing. I'm sure it's better than wearing a pair of jeans, that's for sure. So you got something. And then on the rear end, you know, you've got some reinforced, let me get my camera down where you can see it. You got some reinforced backing, but other than that, it's vented. And I've been wearing these for a long time, and they've held up real well. I haven't taken any spills with these, I must say. So I couldn't tell you about how they would hold up if they got in an accident, or you got you know, pitched off in the dirt or anything. But they're real comfortable, and I like them. I think the reason for the suspenders mainly is this is elastic right here, and it's just not real strong elastic. It wasn't even when I bought it. So you put them on and they fit your waist just fine, but I mean, they were comfortable, but they just sort of I guess sagged is the best way to do it. They would just sort of ride down. They put on and they go right, but the elastic won't hold them where they need to be. So that, hence the suspenders on Amazon for, you know, I don't know, $8 or $9 or something like that. And the suspenders go underneath the jacket, so while you're riding, nobody knows you're wearing suspenders. It's just when you get off to, you know, go get a bite to eat or whatever, and there you are, Mr. Old Man with your suspenders. So I'm still looking. It's quite frankly, I'm kind of happy with these. They get the job done. I really would like to have something that protect a little bit better, but this is what I have for now. And they're not very expensive. I seem to remember, I don't know, $60 or $70 or something. The most of the stuff I look at is a couple $100. It's too warm right now, or normally I'd be wearing, I've got a nice pair of BMW pants. When it's 75 degrees or under, when I go on my longer trips, I wear those. They've got the nice D30 in the knees and the hips. They're awesome pants. They're awesome, but they call them 3-season, but quite frankly, in the dead of summer in Florida, no can do. Way too hot, so you end up wearing these. I thought I'd start showing you a couple of things I bring with me. As I'm doing that, I'm noticing that I guess they're lighting their field on fire. Pretty common out here to burn their crops. That one's a good one going. So this is one of my latest additions to my arsenal. I bought these, the Nikon rangefinder binoculars called the Laser Force. And a lot of times I come out here, I just bring my smaller binoculars. I don't bother with these. These are pretty heavy. I actually did a little video with these, and then I haven't posted anywhere. I haven't decided if it's motorcycle centric enough or not. Because I have about 4 or 5 pairs of binoculars that I use in the motorcycle, and I thought people would like to know which ones I kind of find work the best. I don't bring these because they're a little bit bulkier and heavier. But if I know I'm going to be looking at something, for something, if there's wildlife and I want to range find it, even though, you know, I have no weapons, I'm not hunting or anything like that, then I bring these binoculars with me. The glass and everything is so unbelievably clear. You really can't do reviews. I see people try to do it, but unless you're looking through it, you can't really tell. But they're very clear, and of course the rangefinder works just excellent. Works great. So these were about $1,100. They're a lot of money. What's interesting is you can buy the exact same pair of binoculars without the rangefinder for, I think, under $500. So the rangefinder part is extremely expensive. But I will tell you, when I do hunt and I have to bring a range, I don't always bring a rangefinder, I just kind of eyeball it. But for the times that I do have a rangefinder and you're carrying different pieces of equipment, there's nothing like having one piece of equipment that does it all. And there it is. That was a gator. I just saw it. Is he up on the surface? We'll walk down there in a second. That's it for the binoculars. Let's look down here. I keep hearing it sounds like a horse down here popping up, and he's getting closer to, he's not under the bridge anymore, like he's getting close. Oh, there you go. There's one right there. You can see something right there in the water. See if we can see the bubbles again. There's all the bubbles still under the bridge. And that's where I keep hearing the activity, under the bridge. Every now and again, about every 2 or 3 minutes, I hear I mean, it literally sounds like a horse surfacing for air. Come up, rolling around. All right, I was going to show you something I did up front. It's a little easier to show you with the telephone off of there. But where these studs go through to hold the clamps on for the handlebars, Ram or somebody makes one that has a ball on the end of it. I was trying to figure out where to clamp a ball or something on here. You could see these handlebars are tapered, so that presents yet another problem. And there's not much clearance here. I found these and I'm thinking, you know, I wonder if they'll work worth the darn, if they're strong enough, whatever. So I bought one and I was very impressed with it. I mean, fit like a glove, like factory. So I bought a second one, and that's how I keep the radar mounted, so I don't have to have oddball things strapped to my handlebars. You can see I have nothing strapped to my handlebars actually. And then of course, I don't know whether I showed you, but down here, this is how I do my GoPro shooting. I like this particular mount because the view of the GoPro will show like the R12, it'll show some of that, so you can see what kind of bike I'm on. It doesn't look like a camera just floating through air. I know people try to get their cameras up here or whatever, and then it just looks like a footage just like it's floating on air or whatever, and I'm trying to give it a little perspective that we're on a motorcycle and what kind of motorcycle and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I just have one of these clamp-on Ram mounts. It's rubberized inside here, and it works real well. I just actually use this on a Bear Island campground footage that I put out. It does move around quite a bit, but if you've got the newer GoPro, the 7 Black, that's got the stabilization, at first I thought, man, I'm gonna have to look for a different mounting location. I've used this mounting location for a long time, even with the old GoPro 4s. And if you put a little piece of paper in the case to get the camera nice and tight, it actually isn't too bad. You can get it home, and the software will take out some of that shake. It'll stabilize, it'll shrink the picture a little bit, but it'll take the stabilization up a degree so it's not so shaky. So even with the GoPro 4, I was doing okay with these, but with the GoPro 7, incredible. You don't see any shaking at all. But anyway, that's the mount, easy enough to do on the mounts here. Again, with the rear brake reservoir here, just something to protect it so I don't accidentally hook it with my boot, kick it, get hit with anything. I'm actually more worried about me doing something to it than the road doing something to it. And of course, the charging cable, I've got this zip tied, comes right out of the batteries in here and just comes out, and I have this zip tied right here. I do have another cable. I haven't done it yet, but I'm actually going to take it from here and zip tie it up and into that back box and get a little rubberized waterproofing grommet, and so then that way I can charge things inside that back box. I didn't bring the bag with me today, but this holder right here will hold a multitude of different things. What I have on here is kind of just an open bag, probably about roughly, I don't know, 3/4 of a gallon size. So on my longer trips, I'll put in dry foods like nuts and sunflower seeds or whatever it is I want to eat is generally what I put in there. I already showed you on the front of this bag, I have the mount for beverage and that kind of stuff. I got this little Turtech mount here. Let's see if, I don't know if you can see it much better from in there. But this was pretty easy to mount. I like this, some extra room. What I really have in here a lot of is tire repair stuff. I have CO2 cartridges, plugs, everything imaginable that hopefully if I had to help somebody or help myself, that I would have everything I would need to patch tire. So I have it crammed in there pretty tight. I have tire dismounting tools, everything is in there, but probably much more than I would ever need. But I say that as soon as one day I'll need it, and I'll be happy I have all of it. I got this little Turtech storage pouch. It really doesn't store much, but the nice part is it's an area where nothing else would go there. And so you have some room to put some goodies in there. I don't know, I think I put a couple things in there before, but not a whole lot. But the nice part, like I say, is it's just another place to store a few things, which is always nice. You can see the LED turn signals on the back here. What is interesting to note is that those are actually front turn signals on the back. The guy at the BMW dealer, Tyler, suggested that to me, and boy did he hit that one right on. They tuck in real nice. Like I said, they're pretty bulky. They stuck out further, and they're very bulky. I can't remember if they came down here or something like that, but they're big. These things are tiny compared to the other ones. And interesting, as I'm sitting here talking about it, I just got a, it's not a recall, but notice from BMW. And one of them involved these turn signals. You know, they don't want you to use these turn signals anymore for safety reasons. So they wanted you to put some, they had all kinds of things they wanted you to do. One of them was take those off, and I told them, no, I'm happy with them. But one of the things is to put this reflective tape on here. So I put some on here, and this was, I put it basically in the areas where they said that they were going to do it, and I just didn't want them to do it. So a little bit there, a little bit here, and I think that's about it for the reflective tape. They actually put some reflective tape, if you take the boxes off, they had it on the arms and the inside, and I found that my boxes quickly took all that tape off, so that wasn't going to happen. And I think, other than a couple of small things that nobody really cares about, I got some of these plugs to cover up some of the frame points. I got these frame supports from Turatech. That's a story in and of itself. I bought these and had some fitment problems with this piece right down here. It just didn't fit right. So Turatech was pretty nice. They sent me a whole nother set of hardware for down here, and it didn't make any difference at all. It just didn't fit, or it would slide around the arm. I mean, I don't want to grab it and slide it, but I'm sure it'll, yeah, so you can see it still moves to this day. They just don't fit right. They're better than nothing, in my opinion. If you take a good hit right here, having something will be a lot better than having nothing. So I've left them on there, but to Turatech's credit, they refunded my money entirely. And I'd be willing to pay for it if they had something that would fit right, but they were nice enough. They always took my calls. They never blew me off. And in the end, when we just couldn't get it to work, they just said, keep it, we'll give you your money back. And here's the entire time I've been here, which is about an hour, here comes the first vehicle coming by.